start with give a thanks to Great Mystery for this fantastic opportunity to meet you. Because to be honest, I'm dreaming about that more than a few years. I first met you online in the ceremony in the Canto Canamor in the pandemic time. And
right.
Actually, that was something really amazing. I know before that the music is medicine, but at that time I feel that, and I, together with my wife, we listen this ceremony again and again through the Facebook watch at least 5-6 times. And it really helps a lot, I think, for all those people who listen that. And thank you for that you're doing. And in the meantime, at that time arose the idea that I want to see you here in the Latvia, in Riga, in my place, other places. But I even tried to write you, but somehow is in the middle stopped, and all other things start. And now, thanks to our Latvian organizers, you arrive in the Riga in the 11th of October for the beautiful concert. So everything happened. So, and I want to start with to make the space for our territory about what we want to maybe speak today. This is about this music, medicine. Music like a medicine, about silence, about listen ourselves, and about the way and the path how we together can make this new earth better. This is all about you doing, all about we all together doing. And so maybe I give a space for you, just share the feelings where we are now, because this time is now. It's okay. What is now here? What is this time? How you feel it, this transaction period?
Wow. So first of all, thank you so much for the opportunity to come here and talk a little bit with you today. Indeed, we are in the middle of a tour, of our Dreamtime tour. And yeah, looking very much forward to come to Riga in Latvia in October. 11th of October there in Riga. And yes, the time is now is something that is like a mantra a little bit. Time is always now, no? In a way. But there is indeed something I believe is really unique around the times that we are living in. I think we are all feeling something very special about these times. They say that these are prophetic times, and most, if not all, ancient cultures have some kind of story or prophecy that talks about the time of union, and talks about the time of union of the tribes, gathering of the tribes, allies between peoples, between different communities, and really a time to make bridges and unions so that we start to defend the sacred life on earth. And it's such a pivotal moment in history on so many levels. I don't think anyone, regardless of their domain, would disagree. This is a really paradigm shift for everybody, whether they are kind of monks, hermits, or scientists, or bankers, or students, whatever life has called us to do. I think we are all feeling that there's something great is shifting. And I suppose that something common for us is, of course, this beautiful world that we all inhabit together, and the very real kind of shifts that are happening in the natural world definitely is relevant for all of us who is sharing this world as its residents and as its children. So in whatever that means to us, a paradigm shift, it is something that is upon us all. And I think for us that feel this connection to nature as something sacred, to feel us that are feeling nature as our mother, that are feeling this planet as our sacred garden, where we have been blessed to live our lives, where we have been, blessed to sort of have our generations live through for many, 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 many thousands of years. We have been perhaps, granted the task of stewardship of this earth, and which is what myself and I think and feel many of us are kind of feeling that responsibility in these times, because as we all know, the challenges of the world, especially the modern world, coming with this industrialized mission to basically make something different, or having a different agenda than being those stewards or taking care of that in stewardship that was bestowed on us. Somehow at one point humanity got lost. I don't know how or where or when, or I think we all feel very much the implications of being gone astray, getting lost on the path somehow, and that now we are really faced with the consequences of that, and that we also have at the same time the capacity to face these challenges as a task to overcome, as something that will at the end unify us, and that we can really take this as a challenge to step up and assume that responsibility of the stewardship, and really trust everything that we have inside us. The Industrial Revolution is no more than 200 years old. There's older stories that might have led up to that comes with being disconnected with nature, that comes with setting our other priorities first. However, the stories of humankind on Earth is ancient, and all the instructions are within us, within our bone, within our marrows, within our blood, within our DNA. And we have all the guardians around, taking care and helping us and wanting to clear the road for us. But at the same time, we're the ones alive at this moment. We're the ones that have to assume that responsibility and sort of wake up to our own, blossoming of our maturity. And in a way, humanity in many ways behave a little bit as toddlers or on the planet. It's as if we behave as nobody's watching, as if we're home alone, which is absolutely not true. We're just sometimes I feel everyone's just waiting for us to grow up and kind of do the task we're meant to do. So it's a very good time to grow up. It's a very good time to assume that responsibility and really step into that mission and step into that sacred that sacred function of taking care of something so sacred as this Garden of Eden. We have all the gifts and talents that we need to in order to do that. We have the biggest, we have such amount of power in our hearts, in our imagination, everything that we can create, everything that we can do. We have everything. We just have to dare and come out and in our full power. And the only thing that stops us is, in a way, kind of ourselves. So it's a good time to really align with our sacred purpose here on the planet, and with the help of, wisdom keepers, of help of elders, indigenous tools and wisdom and knowledge and help and guidance. And I really believe that this is the moment that we might hatch something really, really beautiful and sacred, kind of like a new time. At the same time, it's just a revival of something ancient. So something like that.
Perfect. So it's really, I really feel you. It's really resonates. I'm like when you speak in the middle of the ceremonies and online, that's mean this words is we have in the same flow, we have the same consciousness, and I really like your way, because this is way how I usually talk. I don't like the words like a transformation and like that. Just adult. We must get adult. We must rise up. We are like a kids, especially in the Latvia. Okay, Norway, you have a long history. You are a little bit more organized. We are in the middle of the changes right now in the Baltic, especially in the Latvia. But it's like a kids around. They don't like to speak each other. They blah 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 blah. They even don't try to synchronize to each other. And that's also is the next question. What's more resonate to you? This let's say, evolution, transformation, or just remembrance. Just remember that, like you said, we have this knowledge from the, and I don't want to open the, let's say, space for how the life arises in the earth. Is there others consciousness around or not? Of course it is, but let's leave this aside. Anyway, I'm totally same feeling like you, that we have everything what we need for this mission, for this life is inside in us, each of us already. This means I don't need to transform to something. I just need to get rid of something that the modern society, through the industrialization, through the burning the ladies, through the everything that's happened, that just get rid of it and just remember that we are all one. Or you feel more about transformation and to making transformation versus remembrance? What is more in you?
I don't know if one, excludes the other. In a way, you can maybe say that it's a transformation of society. You can always find, arguments for saying it's a transformation. I guess in a way, change is a way to transform, but without a doubt, it comes to it is about a remembrance, and it's not that we transform into something new. It is that we indeed connect with something old that we allow to give space to, that we simply start to feed and nourish, and that starts to sprout and grow and blossom inside us, and that we prioritize that, and that we nourish that that sacredness inside us, so that grows, and that we protect that, let it become bigger. We put time in our schedules, we put time in our life, we give it space, maybe we give it an altar, maybe we give it a we give space to it in our lives, so that we so it can take a hold and start to thrive. I don't necessarily see transformation versus remembrance. I think they're both elements somehow to everything that is mysteriously moving through. And whether one word appeals more to another, I think it's a little bit individual, but I think they both tap into the fact that that something is moving, right? There is a mysterious wind passing through, and we're feeling it, all of us. And it's beautiful in these times how, so many are really calling or feeling the calling of their own purpose, and really feeling, okay, I'm ready. Whatever happened in my story, I'm ready to shed skin. I'm ready to step into the next kind of stage or in the next phase. And yeah, in our own lifetime, that might absolutely feel as a transformation, even though, yes, on the long longevity of our species, it's simply just a little hiccup. But there is something quite as well unique in the fact that we do unite as we now do. I don't know if that ever happened in the past, that all the tribes in this way, in order to really overcome these obstacles, we really need to make alliance. There's no, maybe there is, I don't see so easily any other way, that we really have to come together in unity. So that might be the first, who knows, but or at least in a long time. But no, how whatever is happening, I don't really know so much, but I definitely feel it's something beautiful and sacred and important and kind of epic, and definitely not easy. Definitely also not necessarily set in stone on how it's going to unfold. But I'm very curious and excited and happy to see. I see really, everybody, when given the chance, they really want to take this moment and make the best out of it. And I really see goodness flourish where it can, where it is allowed to. And this is just gives me so much hope and so much belief and faith in the greater stories, in the sacredness of life, in the sacred design of life, as some beloveds say. And yeah, have faith in nature, have faith in the great mystery.
I absolutely agreed. And also about this remembrance, more speak about that remembrance that we are all gods, that we all are creators, that we are all come from one source, that we all have one same father and have same mother here on the planet Earth. This is this remembrance, and of course it's happening through transformation to shed old skin, yeah, like a jiboy or everything. This is clear. So, but the way how to do that, and now we go more to the music from where I am. I also, like all of us, going this initiation path or grow up path or transformation path, how these periods when I want to share everything what I let's say discover, and there is so much blah 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 around, yeah. So all the spiritual teachers, this who know everything, yeah, and follow me, yeah. And to be honest, I also be like some time in that. It's not easy to but after I realized this is not works, because each of us are unique. That it works for me for sure not works for you. How to make our own path, but I can even not express that what I feel with the words, and that's what's happened in the sacred space of the medicine, of the music, of the silence. And then I understand that the best way how to transmit the knowledge is through the silence, but that not works again for all, because the people cannot sit in the silence, and then comes music. And then through this music, I want you a little bit elaborate how you feel this music, because, of course, this is vibrance, we all are energies, everything is vibration, but this power of music, is it possible that people can block from this? Or if they are open, anyway, it works. Like if you are together with 3,000 online, or you have on the stage, is it possible if you are in the concert that you cannot be in this transformation or not? If you understand my point of question.
So whether someone does not feel it, like is it possible for no one to not enter the wave of of frequency?
Yeah, correct. Through the energy, like in the space, the music.
I don't know, to be honest. I mean, I think anything is possible, no? But there is definitely something that happens when there is a big field of hearts being opened. It's something very strong, whatever is the context. Why? But I do think that we have, we are linked in on such a fundamental level that is beyond words or language, or it has to do with emotions, has to do with frequency, has to do with ways that we don't know how individuals are connected. And I do think that when a large number of people open their hearts and feel something transcendental, or feel something sacred, or feel something that is somehow beyond words, it's hard to stand there and not be touched or not feel that. Whether it's possible or not, I don't know. But I think what you're tapping into is also some kind of the importance of everybody finding their path. No, that's also what you're saying, and whether or not to listen to kind of leaders or teachers. Teachers are very important. Teachers have been immensely important in my life. But then again, anyone or anything can be a teacher. So sometimes, for me, the best teachers have been those that are, simply appearing in the right moment without, maybe it can be a bird coming to you when you sit in your garden, or it can be, maybe the best teacher could be something difficult that happened to you, or you had to climb a mountain, whether it was metaphorically or real. Usually those things or those people that challenge us are the good teachers. And then it's up to us, as good students, to find the keys without being fed them like heads down. It's really for us that the challenge takes a hold in your system, and that you learn to develop the response as a wisdom, and not simply feed on some kind of answer. I think it's more probable that we develop every time a little bit more wise, and that the knowledge is something that we integrate as wisdom. And like you say, there is no it's hard to say it's one thing for all. So, but we all have this. For me, the environment in the natural world is a great source of teaching and of knowledge, and maybe some of the best teachers are the elements. You know, the simply listen to the wind, like you say, listen to the silence, listen to the fire, listen to the water, and connect with them as sources of knowledge. Because whoever is your teacher, be sure that they at one point had a teacher that was sitting by a fire and learning from that fire, or make sure that, or you will be sure that your teacher or some of their teachers at one point were sitting by some water and learning from the pool of knowledge, which I do believe are the elements and the natural world. So maybe in this time, it's a good way to practice our own skills and listen into the elements themselves, and try to, train our ear to hear the invisible world, to hear their voices, hear all the voices in nature, the silent ones, the invisible ones, because they have so much to teach us, and I really believe they want us all to be aligned enough to take upon our mission and take our responsibility. So yeah, to really unite with those as allies, with the elements, with nature, with the mountains, with the fire, with the animals, with everyone that is around us and sharing this world with us. Somehow it seems that we are really the newbies around. So take a good teacher in the ones that have been here for longer. And like the Aboriginals say, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. So have really the understanding that it's good to listen at least twice as much as we speak.
Perfect. I want to also ask you about, let's say, it's not about importance of the place from where we come, but thanks to you and this one ceremony concert, when you discovered this your Nordic, let's say, roots and this Nordic, I'm also from Latvia, but this my country house in nearby open sea where lived this tribe Livonians, Libi, and this is not like Latvians. They have more like Finugor language group, but also not like them. And it's absolutely different. This tribal knowledge, this tribal songs, and all these legends and all that, it's somehow more Nordic for me, not like Latvians, because Latvians is many tribes together, and then everything's happened through us. And like USA, there is no like Latvian. There's many tribes here. And then when I hear from you that we Nordic countries, let's say, go down in the winter for the actually, we are dying in to be honest, in the winter. That this is very good here. That autumn I can be slow down, and in the winter normally I die. This means I dream about the new world, like you said. And I first realized after this your speech, because that's it's everything's inside me, but I need the triggers or the locks to help me get in. And songs and when you sung in the Norwegian about this wolves and everything, because I also start my path more like about Amazonia, about this all travel, then maybe of course Machu Picchu, Himalayas, all around the world, but I forgot about my country, what my speech teach me. And somehow, thanks to you, step by step, I also we together with the wife be to full seasons here. Also, first time winter here in the country, in the seaside. And how this silence starts speak to me and without words, and also your music, but after your music comes another music. And now the question is about this unitedness through the music, through the legends, what you perfectly showing up. And I think this is what this new kind of the spiritual music brings after the, let's say, Woodstock era, where was one kind. Now this ancient traditions comes out, even with teachings, without teachings, just like that. Can you a little bit elaborate what the northern people, what we can do now for the world? Because if we see the colors, yellow, red, blue, and the white, I don't say about the colors, but elements, we are this white, because here is the rational mind, because in the winter, we know how to survive. We know how to survive in the storm, especially in the Norway. This is ice, rocks. This is let's say, this masculine stability, to divine feminine can work. How you a little bit feel that with your tribe, where you are also from Argentina, from Mexico, all together? How you feel this unitedness? through the north?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, as you say, it's very, evident that in these times, all of us, wherever we were born, that it's somehow upon us to really connect with the roots of where we are from. I also spent my share of time in the jungle, in long time, isolated in the Amazon. And at one point, the message was really clear: like, we don't need you here anymore. You need to go home. We have enough Indians here. You need to go home and be an Indian at home. And something about really opening the portals and being present in the portals that are being opened in the north, because of course there has been a strong traditions of ancestors taking care of that dialogue with nature in our lands at all times, but for whatever reason it's not as much practiced. So then it's calling, it's people. Okay, we also need our rituals to be contained. We need our rituals to we need our fires to be lit. We need our spirits to be spoken to. We need the land needs offering. The land needs attendance. The whole all the forces there need to be attended. So I think it's amazingly important that whoever we are, wherever we are, that we really get to the root of the land that sculptured us. And I don't. It's a blessing if there's a teacher in our own environment who can teach us about the wildlife, about the winds, about the stars, about everything, about the food, about the circle of life in our own backyard, so to say, in our own climate. But if there isn't, for some reason, then we just have to try to get to the source and try to find our way through dreams, through offerings, through prayers. Find the medicinal plants in our own backyard. Try to find the food that our ancestors ate. To try to stimulate and really nourish those ancestral parts in us that are perhaps lying, dormant, waiting for nourishment to simply come up to awakening again inside us. And with the four directions, you have the red and the black and the yellow, and then you have the white. And of course, the white, whatever it represents, I feel it's very important that the white also takes its place in the medicine wheel. So whatever we feel of being, maybe some feel shameful for what some white ancestors did in the past. Maybe some feel arrogance, maybe whatever it's being felt. It's almost as if there's no time for that. We just have to connect to the land and figure out what is spirit asking of us right now, and kind of trust the horizon, trust who we are, trust ourselves, trust the breath we've been given, trust our heartbeats, trust and trust nature, and trust the dreams that we have, trust something bigger than the senses. I mean, the literal, you're saying this is a sense, no? The sensitive.
Yes.
Sensible. Trust that is, trust the greater, trust the instincts, the intuition. This is where we have been a little bit, how do you say? Not so well nourished. Our prefrontal cortex have been very stimulated, and maybe our intuition not so much. So finding balance, how can I tap into those intuitive wells in my interior to really come closer to my own force, my own power, my own talents, my own ability to connect with the invisible world, with the spirits, with land, with nature, with the greater spirit. And what is our community's sort of service in the greater tapestry? Like, what can we offer from from our relation to the ice, to the cold, to the darkness? What teachings comes out of that landscape? That is something, at least I feel a lot, having spent a lot of time in the tropics, but that honestly gave me so many gifts and so many blessings. And perhaps the biggest blessing it left me was with the longing for home at the end of it all, and just like, okay, but what is my song? What is my mountains song? What is the wind that is, you know, how is it singing where I'm from? And connect to, you know, the navigate of in the stars from the perspective of one's home is something very deep, something very sacred. So there's something my sister Luna once said about the coolness of the north, like coming like a cool wind in a burning world. Something about the bringing that kind of, like, not that hot tempered, like, but this kind of coolness, as, you know, something is also very nourishing and kind of calming and reassuring and soothing, because in a kind of nervous and a little bit hyperactive and passionate and dramatic and fiery world, increasingly hotter, that sort of coolness and link to the darkness, link to the dreamtime, is something very precious. And this is also the concept around the second album that we are now bringing out on the 13th of October. Is called Dreamtime, and it's really that to honor that state, that where nature is sleeping up there in the north, how strong it is, how beautiful this reservoir of just infinite potential that you tap into when Mother Earth is dreaming, and how beautiful she dreams the whole cycle. Once again, she dreams it into being. How she passes on all that information, every little secret she passes on to each seed that is sleeping under the snow, and it's just waiting for, then of course, the father son's love to hit the right spot, and then really come up to its force. And then once again, the entire sacred design is passed on to each little seed, and then passed on through the generations. So it's a beautiful moment for me to, I think, for all of us that are sculptured in four seasons, like you were saying. You mentioned that you die every winter. I can completely resonate with that. It's like the
Oh.
it's like the time of hibernation, a time of death, being in reconciliation with, like, being reborn as well, death and rebirth, and sort of making a good relation with that part of life too, that life comes in cycles, and it has these we rise and we fall, and we rise and we fall. We exhale, we inhale. This is sort of the turn of time. This is the only way that, like, the serpent of life is kind of wiggling through existence somehow. And to simply learn to dance with it and ride its waves rather than resist. And I think the best thing we can do is follow its curves, and allow, if our time to fall and to have that, hibernation time, that sort of death. Okay. And then we come back stronger in spring. If without it, we become a little bit like ants. No, they never sleep, and they never, we're meant to be something, I think, something important. I mean, for us to become the full potential of whatever we're supposed to become, we definitely need our sleep, our hibernation time, our retreat time, our silent time, our dark time, and understanding that reset is absolutely fundamental for whatever we're supposed to unleash.
I absolutely agreed, and it's absolutely same that we feel. And also, you mentioned this way back to home, from the jungles or from everywhere, because we have in the Latvian this one, let's say, legend or fairy tale about boy who wants to go around the world to find a lucky place. And how and it's beautiful songs about that. Everybody Latvians know that, and how you imagine it's ended up the beautiful place is your home, because it happens, and the boy will be bring to the happy place, and he's really, this is my home. Wow, I'm here. And And I think this is this transformation maybe what's happening right now, that people start to understand and remember all their places. And I think that you agree that we are just short amount of time here, we life around. Normally we are the dead all the time, or eternal life is the same like death for the body, because the body is alive short time, but we are all the time. And if we forgot about the importance of the death, that's how the society looks like now. The Western society try to escape from the death. They try to appear that we are in the death will not happen. And then what you say, like ants, like 10 years in a row, the business and the life, we need to rest. And each winter we escape from the Latvian heavy winters and go to India, to the Asia, and we spend 1-2 months in the sun. It's okay, but then the energy going up, and at the moment you are the crazy like the world is now, yeah. And then arrives your friend from the Spain, from the and they cannot shut up. Never. And this is okay, like big kids, but then it looks like from some places must around is silence. And this example of this winter, like you told that all is white, especially we are on the seaside here, just 2 minutes, and it's the Baltic Sea, open sea, not the bay, and it's never the same, never in the same, even in the winter. This is not like this. This is this who have this possibility to be reborn, and that's one. And also other that you said that the knowledge or the spirits or the Pachamama or the land, we are just transmitters. That means we ourselves don't need to remember anything. Just we need to be open. And then, like our friends from the, let's say, Europe countries arrive here, or even shamans from Amazonia, says, wow, you have the European jungles here, but this is in the Baltic. But imagine farther to the northern countries like Norway, and for your beautiful retreat about Aurelia Borealis. We want to be with you, but this time we have October already booked. But for next year, this is what we have in the north. This possibility for the people to come here, especially in the Latvia. Norway is more, let's say, wild. But Latvia is in the middle. We have this winter, but not so cold. But to get relaxed, and then to listen to music, and then somehow you combine all together, and then the Dreamtime, this new album that comes out, you continue this idea about to take your time for little relax, little go sleep. Maybe sleep is better, like to be dead for the majority, and then dream, and then feel, and then allow this seed grows. Or what is your Dreamtime about?
It has a lot to do with nourishment. Like nourishing your soul, nourishing your spirit, like you were saying. It's almost as if that's when the soul feeds, and in order to feed, it needs calm. And like you were saying before, many of us are sort of resisting the winter, so we go to India or Spain or Bali or Mexico or somewhere to sort of just keep expanding and keep have that that type of stimuli when we're outside of our cage, in a way, like not in retreat, but in social contact, a lot of activity, a lot of stimuli, a lot of expansion. And then I just know that for me, if I do that too much without retreat, I get fried. I feel my energy being burned or being fried, and I feel really ungrounded, and I feel really, in a way, it can be really fun, but in some level, but after, at least only speaking for myself, but I feel I get more prone to diseases. I pick up little bugs or infections or things like that. I really feel that when you're born into a climate like with those 4 seasons, that has a sort of recipe for how you are wired into to life, and how your energy is moving, and what you need at certain times, and when to eat, when to sleep, when to go to the bathroom, when to, it's really like a manual for like a level 1 of how to live, how to be a human. But that's a little bit where we are. But it's really tapping into what how our energy rhythms are, our cycles. Maybe in closer to the equator, it seems like their cycle perhaps is a little bit more tuned around the moon, and that the whole cycle of nature, rises and falls just within a lunar cycle. Whereas I feel in the north, I feel that it really takes that year, the whole solar return. And the darkness time is really, 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 really important. I also spent various years in the very north, in the Arctic, where the winter is 4 months long of darkness with no sun, or 4 months. And then you really work up, or the level of nourishment that you get from that deep rest is absolutely magical. You come out in spring and everything is so clean, the land is so clean, because the snow, the frost kills anything that is not the sacred life inside the seeds. It wipes everything out, and everything, there's no parasites, it's just clean. And we come to spring and everything wakes up as if for the first time. And that is something I value so much with the north. I love all parts of the earth that I've been. I love for different reasons, but obviously there's something very special about the place you were born, and the part of like your global neighborhood, in a sense, that is always going to be pretty special to one. So I feel super blessed having grown up in a world that has been so, abundant with clean air, clean water, clean forests, with so many, and with so much natural life, with so many eagles, elks, mooses, reindeer, wolves, bears, salmon. The wildlife is really pristine. At the same time, we're one big garden, and it's just as important that everyone has that level of cleanness in their waters, that everyone can drink from the tap, that everyone can drink from the rivers. And that's definitely a point of focus, I think, for all of us, whether we have been already dulled down from all the luxury we've lived in, that we somehow manage to have that discipline to sharpen ourselves, and to not let this happen on our shift. Like you were saying before, maybe our spirits live for eternity, but our flesh don't. And to really come to terms with the fact that our life here is really brief. Like my brother Hugo said, we're ancestors of tomorrow. And this is true. We're the ancestors of everything that is to come. And how to be a good ancestor, what is our focus of attention? What are we going to focus on in a world that screams at us and tries to get our attention every instant? How to distill yourself from all of that and find up again, right? That's what is important. And for this, I really believe you need the silence. You need the kind of just a retreat from all the stimuli, and just find that, whether it be darkness or whatever in your world that is that peace, that calm, whether it's a meadow, it doesn't necessarily need snow. It just, for me, that's what that comes with. But for people in other climates, it might be the desert, it might be the forest, it might sit still in the middle of the jungle, be in isolation, it might be sitting in a meadow, it might be sitting on the top of a mountain, just feeling solitude from society, and really feel the connection to the larger planetal society, to be amongst nature, and to feel the truth that arises from silence. And sometimes I say, if you're going to break the silence, make sure that you break it with something as true as silence, and as beautiful as silence. And I really believe this is a good practice, because we tend to become a bit like parrots. I'm talking a lot now, so I'm not necessarily making a good example, but if we're gonna, you know, try to move a little bit away from that chatter, it's good too, you know, just because a lake is deep, it also has its surface, so it's all good. But sometimes in order to come up with the really great answers and just make sure we're in a good position in going in the right direction and doing what we're supposed to do, you know, then I think we really need to find that compass in the depth of our hearts, and that we're only going to hear if we go to those silent places, because our heart doesn't scream at us. It's more tender, it's more wise, it's more humble. You know, other things around us will scream at us and try to rob our attention, but in order to really sometimes feel into the heart, we need to hear it, and in order to hear it well, we need to seek silence and solitude.
Fantastic. I just also little bit want to play about this winter and white and the darkness and the black, because it somehow also changed my attitude completely to the darkness, because I think we, like humanity, are from the long time ago in the darkness is dangerous, you know, everything can happen in the darkness. We feel like this darkness is this death. And now I realize, no, this white light that's shining through your head now, because that is the sun goes through. You will see later, it's a nice image on you. So this white part is this death, like in the north when everything's froze. Because even if we imagine this white is the total light, because everybody thinks we need light warriors. Okay, we need light warriors to finish this bullshit. Excuse me, to finish that. The light is no life. Life is the death. In the life, nothing survives. If the universe one day will expand totally, there will be even no transcendence possible, because it's only light, but darkness is the matter of everything. Yeah, and that's also, I think, in the north, and when you've been in the darkness, you can feel this silent, like a start making this invisible something, like, you know, in the Shipibo or others, this is like a line and the line and the line and the line, this mystical web of life, or somehow. And if we are long enough in the silence, you know, is the 7 days dark retreats or 40, but there is no retreats need, just to be in this. You feel this white and dark like that, or you feel a little bit different? How the lives continue eternally?
Well, I really feel the light and the dark being sort of complementary forces, if not the same force. No, there's not one without the other. So one brings out, without darkness, there's no light. Without light, there's no darkness. And maybe this dichotomy is what, you know, enables life in the way that we see it. This sort of dance of the duality is everywhere. There's the opposing forces that is creating change and creating something moving, and you cannot have like movement, and that doesn't happen with simply one pole. You need opposing forces, you know, in order to have progress, in order for something to even have that movement. And that movement is linked to our consciousness, otherwise we wouldn't experience anything. It's linked to growth, it's linked to time and cycles. The way we experience that something actually moves forward, I think, is because we have opposing forces, whether they be, you know, light and dark, or masculine, feminine, or whether they be fire, water, whether they be light and day, or wet and dry. You know, everything has its opposite. And I think these kind of the principle, you know, in Mexico, they say Ometeo, you know, they have this sacred duality, which is the principle of creator being creador, creadora, like a creator, creatress, not necessarily referring to deities per se, but referring to sort of creative forces that only make sense together. And understanding that they're never, ever, ever opposed to each other in terms of will or in terms of belonging, that their belonging always is somehow together in a whole. You know, they make something complete, and they make something, being able to be fertile, you know, like a simply having children for principle of a man and a principle of a woman is what can create life. And in the same way, it's only between, you know, the sun and the water, the sun, the fire, and rain, the water, which creates rainbow, you know, to really understand that the sacred principle, in a way, the Holy Trinity as well, without going too far into sort of Michelin's analytics. But this is a little bit my relation to this sacred ways, how they lean on each other, how they exist in union somehow, and that it's our fallacy to not see them as such. It's our shortcoming to not honor their union and simply looking at their differences. And I think we fail when we start to, you know, lean into competition and things like that, where there is actually, it's just everything has its place, and they do. If we all are all here together, it's because we have our place that is something, a part of a bigger whole. Same as with, you know, constructive forces and deconstructive forces. There are some forces in nature that breaks things down, you know, and sort of destructive forces. I don't believe these are bad forces. They're just breaking, like in autumn. If things die, there are these destructive forces that allows the leaves to turn into soil, and that again creates literally soil for new life. So it's also cleaning and helping to things to break down what has its time already and has already passed. So even destruction has its sacred part, has its sacred role. Even the clown, even the, you know, even everything in a way has its sacred position. But of course, it is for us to somehow step back, because when humanity steps back, the perfect order will rebalance itself. You know, nature by its intelligence and wisdom will reorder what is necessary. I think what we need to do in terms of this assuming responsibility is simply just to step back. You know, we saw this during the pandemic, right? When it first hit that April, before anybody kind of knew nothing, we just had to be in isolation. And the first thing we saw, how amazing it was when nature started to take back, you know, how nature just took up that space, how the dolphins were in Venice and how the deers in the roundabouts, and how beautiful it was, just like that, just waiting for some space, because we take up so much space. And in that, we're really pressing or pushing this natural order in a little bit. I think we just need to bring it back to here, to really local, and retreat this kind of globalism. It's becoming, or it's already gone way past, you know, insanity. It's burned hard. So we need to have some kind of retreat for the goodness of our connection. You know? When we are connected to our source of life, whether it comes through silence or sleep or, you know, reflection, or however we tap into that well of the infinite, we somehow will do better, I think, as a whole collective, if we allow nature to simply just do its thing.
Absolutely agree.
And not interfere. Just allow it. Just allow it. And all will be well.
Absolutely. And start to closing our conversation, more little bit about the music, your tribe or your group, or how you call Curawaka, what you are, or tribe or family. But it's
family.
Family. It's already one example of the spiritual families nowadays, where people are united from all traditions, from all also song and music traditions, because your CD and your ceremony is more related, let's say, to maybe jungle, tribal, and the northern. But I imagine really if we make jam session, let's say together, there Sachitananda Guru and Om Namah Shivaya, that's all mixed perfectly fine in this new music. How it's in your tribe? How you get together? There is Mexico, Argentina. How they feel in the Norway in the cold. How is your feeling about that? How you get together, and then after the last will be maybe, are you be happy, let's say, for the next year going more forward and try to organize something in the Baltic together with the Norway and a little bit more international, let's say, making online possibilities to people enjoy some concerts and make like not 500 people like in the Riga place, but make like a little bit bigger, wilder, and groups from let's say, local tribes here, Sami, Ugri, old traditions, who know Libyan, our songs, your songs, and then Amazonian, and then maybe some Indian. And that's for the end, how you can elaborate on that.
Sounds like a festival.
I think, yeah, but not like one, but like a festival summer. Because Latvia, how the very hostile from the Liepaja till that, but here in the middle there is the open sea, very wild, and there is fantastic stages, and we have already set some places for that. But this can be outside, inside. We have really good internet connection here. It's very easy to go live all around the world. Same like Bulkanta more. This is shame that is not continue, but you remember that feeling, how you said, if the 3,000 or even 10,000 people open the hearts, like on this online meditations, online retreats. That's the idea. But let's come back about first how your family feels spiritual now in the Norway, and then finish with that. Are you ready to go a little bit wider?
Well, I feel very good, of course. The others, there's Alberto is my partner. He is feeling really good in Norway. He likes the cold. He likes the nature, the pristineness, I think he really likes it there. We live in the south of Norway, in the forest, in a beautiful farm, far from people, in the middle of the forest, in a wonderful place called Casa Aurora. And there is also Tavo with his wife and daughter. So we very, very much feel like a family. And then this is really the place to rejuvenate, to be with family, to grow the land, to cultivate our connection to Mother Earth, to the water. We're blessed with our own water source well there, so we have it's completely like sanctuary for us. It's where we it's like the nest. And then finding all the contentment in the world and the calm, the calm pulse, the creativity of making more music and simply working the land and being together in that way is really beautiful. And then, of course, we do the journeys, like maybe 2 times a year, bigger journeys to visit other parts of the world and share our music and interconnect with other people that are on similar missions. There's so many of us that are holding this prayer in our hearts. We are expressing it through music, but I also see so many brothers and sisters that are expressing this prayer in their own way, whether they are teachers or bakers or whatever one is doing in their life. I think it's very important that when we start to get interested in, for example, indigenous ways, it doesn't necessarily mean that everyone is to become a shaman. It's really for everybody to become that shaman in their own way, in their own community, in their own work, with the gifts that each one has. Because we need people in all places with this kind of connection and with this kind of priorities, and that we as a family feel that we want to prioritize the health of our planet and the health of our community, and that is ready to make alliances and bridges and, you know, make that unionship together, and that we somehow break boundaries, that we simply recognize each other and root for each other, cheer for each other, and rise each other up. And yes, we've never been to Latvia before, so it's all new territory. We're very much looking forward. It sounds amazing, and after now that you explained the wilderness of it, I can feel, you know, it feels really good, and we are very excited to come and play in Riga. I think it's going to be amazing, and looking forward to smell the air and try the food and see the light in the eyes of the people and hear you sing and drum, and, you know, just learn a little bit about the culture as much as you can in that little time we have. But hopefully come back also next year or very soon and get to know you all a little bit more, a little bit better, and learn also from you how is everything from your perspective? How is it on your end, and how does it feel in your backyards and in your forests? And yeah, looking very much forward to make that connection with the Baltic.
Thank you so much, because I think that's who we are. At least you, me, and many on the same way. We are connectors, just connectors, just jewels in the endless web of life. That's mean through us is passing energy, and we may just be like a rainbow warriors, empty inside and full of the power outside.